Hello guys, today we've got the 1 litre Eco Boom in. It is not for a wet belt today, thank God. It is for the rear axle bushes. It's in for the control arms on the front, anti-roll bar bushes, and it was just a full suspension refresh really. So I'm going to show you how to do the rear axle bushes and the control arms and how I do it. So yeah, if you want to see that, stay tuned. First, let's get it on the ramp. Make sure they're under the sill jacking point, like it is. Let's have a look at the back one. Get that on the sill jack point. Just there, like that. Let's get this baby lifted up. So going under the back now, just going to show you what to do on these Fiestas. So see the bracket, this is the bush that's failed on this car. They don't look that bad actually, but they are a common thing on these. So how we're going to do it, we're going to take the rear axle down, take this bolt out, this bolt, and then there is one at the back here, and then we're going to drop that axle down. Same on this side, take this bolt, and this bolt out. We're going to take the handbrake cable bracket off, so I'm going to give them a good squirt now. And same with that side, take that handbrake bracket off. And then we're going to lower the axle down, but I'll show you how to do that. So just give that handbrake cable, get your GT85, just give that a spray. Same again, spray this bolt. That should be that. Now then, for the handbrake cable bracket, it is a 13mm. So I have to give it a little tap because of the rust. Get your impact gun on your socket, whatever you're using. And then just wind it on and off. Like that. Make sure you don't snap that. Same for the other side. Put your socket on. Wind it on and off. Like that. Just so it doesn't snap that bracket off. Then the handbrake cable can come down like that off the axle so we don't foul that. We're 15mm socket, and then them 3 bolts that I showed you, we're going to wind them out without dropping the socket. Yeah. And then that last bolt, I'm going to need a little extension. Bear with me. Right, little extension now. Put that on the gun, put your 15mm. And then you can see that bolt is now out. And that axle can now swing down. We'll just get that cable out of the way. We can now swing that axle down, out the way. I'm going to put a transmission jack under the other side, and then we'll be able to take this bracket off when I can move that. So yeah, you see this bolt here, we're going to take that out, take this bracket off to give us access to this bush. Squeal a transmission jack under here. Pump, 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 pump. Don't you know, pump it up. You got to pump it up. Don't you know, pump it up. Pump this under the axle, just so it's got a little bit of the weight. Most of your weight is carried by your shockers here, but we don't want to put extra stress on them. So we just put the transmission jack under, support that. And then take this final bolt out, and then the whole thing should drop forward, like so. And then we can gain access to these bushes. Like that. And that's why I put the transmission jack under, because the springs are trying to push that down. Like say, all the brackets are clear. Nice, and then that gives us access to that bolt. 15mm again. Put that on this bolt here for this bracket. Get our gun. And then we're gonna need get your 18mm spanner. It is. Put that on the back. And wind that out like that. And then your nut comes out. And then take your bolt out. And then that's that bracket off there. And then we'll make sure put our bolt back through. And then this is your bush for your rear axle. See how it's all deteriorated around there? It's gone. That's what some MOT stations I drive, but I've seen them a lot worse than this. So what we're going to do now is take the wheels off so I can get a hammer in, and then we're going to fold this bush in on itself and then pop it out. Right, get our 19mm socket now. Take the wheel nut off. That's one off. Normally these Fiesta wheel nuts as well always corrode. I'm just going to get the lock and wheel nut now. Always put that on by hand, do not just gun it off. There we go. And then spin this round, grab the wheel, and it's stuck on there anyway. Give it a little bat, take the wheel off, put that to the side. Now I can get access to hit this bush. So there's different ways of doing this. Loads of people do different things. Some people use a drill, put a drill around there, walk the bush out. I'm going to get a small chisel and then put that chisel in between there around 4 places, and then that should just smack out that way. So we'll have a go with that. So like I just said there, get that chisel in there. Watch your hands, by the way. See how it's folding the bush in on itself now? And braid this chisel all the way through. I'll just show you what I've done there. So as you can see, the chisel's come through the side. It's come round at the bottom and then on this side. And what's that done is folded that bush inside. Now we should just tap this out. Oops. Just like that. So there we have our bush out. We're just going to get the wire wheel, clean this up now, and then fit our new bushes. Get our wire wheel now, clean all that up. Make it nice and easy for the new bush to go in. On this one, it's a bit different. We're going for the polyurethane style bush, and we've got new bolt with this collar. So what you do with these is grease your service up, slide it in the axle like that, and then this bush gets greased up as well, goes through that hole like that, and that stiffens the full bush up, and then new bolt clamp it all together. So yeah, just grease your bush up like that, smear it all around there. And then this goes in from this side on the left hand side. That collar wants to be facing to the outside of the car. And then, like I say, just grease all that up. and then we'll pop that in. So we've got that bush started in there now. All I'm going to do is just whack it in around the outside. See, that's home now. That bush is all the way in. It's flush with the back. And then what that collar does is when the collar goes into the bush, it spreads the bush apart and it pushes on the mating surface of this. So then it'll stick in the axle. Just going to get the metal collar now. Slide that in. Get our dead blow hammer again. Just tap that in. Right, we're just going to get our bracket now. We've been supplied new bolts, so remember there's a little tab on here that goes into the body. Remember to put this the right way around, don't put it like this. So on the left hand side, passenger side, your bracket goes like this. So you slide that over like that. Move our handbrake cable out the way. Now that bolt's lined up, check our new bolt. Keep one wash on this side, slide all the way through, put a nut on the back side, and then put our new nylock on. And we're not going to tighten this up until it's in the car. And that is that side done. Now I'm going to do a little time lapse of me doing the other side and then come back to you.
So the reason why we don't tighten that bolt up while it's just loose on the car is we need to do it on the 4-poster ramp when all the weight of the car and that bush is settled, and then when we tighten that bolt into that bracket, the weight of the car will be on that bush, and then that will be its like final resting place.
Axle up now. Make sure our locating pin goes into the body of the car. Always starting by hand. So as you see, these should be lined up. And then we've got one at the back. There. Do these bolts like that. Make sure they're nice and tight. Our handbrake cable, put that back on our little bracket. Got a locating tab in, bang the bolts in. You might just need a wiggle. Just to get everything lined up perfect. Get our handbrake cable bracket, pop that back on its tab, like so. And that is how you change the rear bushes on your Fiesta. Now I did cheat. With these plastic bushes, you need a proper tool to press them in. It's basically a cup that goes on the back of the axle with a bit of threaded bar, and that pushes this plastic bush into the axle like that. But these are a nightmare to get started. So the guy doable, like I say, normally what I do is, if you see this edge, I normally put a chamfer on this edge, grease a bush up like we've just done, So I'm just going to whack the rear wheels on now, and then we can remove the transmission jack, slow that down, and then that is a back end complete. And the handbrakes off, making it a bit more challenging. Is that one on there loose? Let's get the other one on. Is that one on there loose? Get this wheel nut. Always start your wheel nuts by hand as well. Like that. And then we will get our 19mm socket. Now while I'm doing here, guys, is running it up on the gun. I will be talking these wheel nuts. To spec, I think 120 Newton meters. So I'm just running them up. Like that. Go around the other side. Get this transmission jack now. Slowly lower the car off. Like that. And that.
I do want to add that I didn't torque the bolts that go through the bush yet, because after I've fitted the front arms, I'm going to go next door, put it on the 4-poster ramp where I can get underneath, and then I'm going to torque them to spec. So if you're wondering about that.
Right then, so moving on to the front, we've got the bottom arm control arms to do. On these Fiestas, I've found that if you get genuine Ford items, last a million times longer. The aftermarket ones, the bottom ball joints also seem to go, and then the bushes always go in them. So I'm just going to show you what to do here, what we're doing. So see this pinch bolt here for the low ball joint. We're going to wire brush that up, spray some spray on that. Then we've got the front arm bush for here. We're going to take that out that way. And then there's one more at the back of the control arm. Just grab you off the tripod. So we've got this bolt here that goes in the arm there. Get out wire brush. Clean any rust off that. Get our trusty spray. Give that a spray, and that will help us out. We're going to get our gun, put that on here, and then on the back side it is a 13mm. We're going to put a ratchet and a socket. See how that bolt was stubborn to come out. Do is put the nut back on, tiny bit. Wind it on, and then just going to get a little pin punch, put that in the hole there. Like this. This is just so we don't damage the thread on that nut. And then whack that off like that. Take our nut off, and then take our pinch bolt out like that. We're going to take this bolt out, which is a 15mm. As you can see, it's crusty again. We'll get the gun. out like that. And then that comes out. And then this back bolt, like I said, 15mm again. Like that. Pull down. Pull down like that whilst tapping it. And that is it. Pry that arm out of its socket. Like so. And then that is one arm removed. So opposite of removal, I've got the new arm here. We just slot that into this hole like that. So I'm just going to get the dead blow hammer now. So, like that. This bolt needs to go in here, but at the minute our arm isn't lined up, so all I'm going to do is get a flathead screwdriver, try and prise that arm that way, like that, to make our line, and then we've greased our bolt up, and that should just slot through there. Give it a little wiggle, make sure it starts, and then get our 15mm on the ratchet. Put this arm down, and as can you see, it needs to come forward. There we go, that hole's lined up. So we're going to get our other bolt. This. Just put a dab of grease on that there. Lift that up until the hole lines up. Put that in. Like so. Start it with your hand, so you know the thread's alright. And then I'm not going to gun these. Put it in hand tight like that. And then pry our bottom ball joint down. Move our hub over. Might just have to straighten the steering up a little bit. Like that. See how the ball joint's moved there. And then all I'm going to do is get our dead blow. Hammer that right up. And then fit our pinch bolt. And then we're going to fit our pinch bolt from the back. Like that. Thread our nut on. Then we're going to get the 13 and the 15. And then just tighten that up. Like that. And that is one arm done. I forgot to mention, so when you torque these bolts up and the back one, I'm going to do it on the 4-post lift next door. The weight of the car has to be on it, so that arm will then move up, and then you can tighten this to stop premature wear on this bush. But I'm just put them in ratchet tight for now, and then I'm going to go next door, put it on the 4-post lift, and then tighten these up to the spec. That was how you change axle bushes on the rear of the Fiesta, and how to do your control arms. Now, let me just say, and put this disclaimer in here, if you're not confident on working on your own car, do not follow this video as a how-to guide. I might put it on as your how-to guide, but always seek professional advice before doing anything like this on your car. I'm merely showing you how I do it, and obviously I've got access to a 2-post ramp, stuff like that. It is possible on the drive, but like I say, you need to be trained, you need to be competent in what you're doing. I mean, I am a mechanic as a full-time job alongside doing bits and bobs of cars. So yeah, that's just like a little disclaimer from me. But I hope this helped. Be prepared to start sweating, because getting them bushes out with a hammer and chisel, it is, like I say, it's barbaric, but it's the quickest way that I've found to do them. Like I say, just a little bang in the top, bang in the bottom, fold the bush, and then just whack. If you're liking these little how-tos and stuff like that, don't forget, subscribe, like the video, give me some comments, tell me what I'm doing wrong, tell me what you want more of. I'm going to try and incorporate a bit more point of view shots, and yeah, I hope that you are all enjoying the content. If the video quality isn't good, if the audio isn't good, just have a comment. Let's try and build this channel with each other, and we can all just share little tips and tricks and stuff like that. I'll probably learn stuff as well, so let's do it, yeah.